All right, let's just dive right in with a question. What if you were given a second chance at life? I mean, a truly incredible, life-changing gift, and the very first thing you asked was, so, can I go back to my old ways? It sounds crazy, right? Well, today we're going to unpack one of the most famous and maybe most misunderstood ideas in spirituality. And it all starts with a story that will really make you think about what gratitude actually means.
So, picture this. There's a guy who has just gone through a life-saving heart transplant. He's literally on his way out the hospital door, about to begin this brand new life. He turns to his doctor, the person who saved him, and asks that exact question. Is it okay to live like I used to now? I mean, just let that sink in. It's shocking, right? It just makes you stop and wonder, what on earth is going on in his head to ask something like that?
Okay, so here's the backstory on this guy. His own heart was failing, completely wrecked by his lifestyle choices over the years. He was basically on death's door, and he had zero hope. No money for the surgery, no donor lined up, nothing. Then, out of absolutely nowhere, this double miracle happens. A perfect donor heart becomes available, and at the exact same time, some anonymous benefactor steps in and pays for the entire thing, the whole shebang. So he's literally been handed a new life on a silver platter, pulled back from the very brink of death.
Now, as you've probably figured out, this whole story isn't just about a medical procedure. It's a really powerful analogy, right? It's a metaphor for a deep spiritual idea, the concept of grace. You know, that unearned, totally undeserved gift of a second chance. And that patient's just baffling question forces us to think about how we'd respond to a gift that big.
And that brings us to this really key distinction. You can think of it as two totally different ways to look at a gift like this. On one hand, you have what we could call precious grace. This is when the gift inspires this deep, overwhelming gratitude. It makes you want to completely change your life. But then, on the other hand, there's cheap grace, and that's exactly what our heart patient was displaying. It's taking the gift for granted, feeling zero sense of obligation, and basically using it as a free pass to go right back to the very things that destroyed you to begin with.
So let's bring this whole idea into our own lives for a second. If we feel like we've been given a spiritual new heart, a fresh start, forgiveness, whatever you want to call it, does that mean it doesn't matter how we live anymore? Is it just a get out of jail free card? Well, believe it or not, this question is anything but new. It's actually at the very heart of a super old and really fascinating conversation. And to find that conversation, we've got to go way back, all the way back to the Gospel of John, chapter 3 to be exact. It's this incredible late-night meeting between Jesus and a man named Nicodemus. And their conversation, well, it holds the key to figuring out what a real second chance is all about. So, first things first, who was this Nicodemus guy? Well, he was a somebody, a big deal. He was a Pharisee, and not just that, he was a member of the Sanghyun. Think of it as the Jewish ruling council and Supreme Court all rolled into one. This guy was an absolute elite, a top-tier leader. So the fact that he comes to see Jesus and does it secretly under the cover of darkness, that tells you he's got some huge, maybe even dangerous questions weighing on him.
So Nicodemus shows up and starts with the pleasantries. Rabbi, we know you're a teacher from God. But Jesus just kind of cuts right through all of that. He gets straight to the heart of what Nicodemus is really there to ask about. And he just drops this bombshell, a statement that has puzzled people for 2,000 years. Truly, truly, I say to you, unless one is born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God.
And Nicodemus's reaction is, well, it's pretty much what you'd expect from any of us, right? He's totally thrown. He hears born again and his mind just goes to the most literal physical thing imaginable. He's basically like, wait, what? How can an old man be born? You expect me to climb back into my mother's womb? I mean, it sounds absurd, but his confusion is actually perfect because it sets the stage for the big aha moment. And this is it. This is the exact point where the whole misunderstanding happens. The key to unlocking this whole puzzle is hidden in a single word from the original Greek text. And this word has a brilliant and very intentional double meaning. Okay, the word you need to know is anothen. That's the actual Greek word Jesus used. In most of our Bibles, it gets translated as again. But here's the problem with translation, right? Sometimes the really subtle shades of meaning get flattened out. And in this case, that little nuance, well, it's everything. So here's the crucial piece of the puzzle. The word anothen has two different meanings. Its secondary, less common meaning is again or anew. That's what Nicodemus heard. But its primary, its main meaning is from above. And that's what Jesus actually meant.
And boom, there it is. This slide just lays it out perfectly. You've got these two completely different paths of understanding. Nicodemus hears born again and thinks of a physical do-over, something that's totally impossible. But Jesus meant born from above, a spiritual transformation, something that starts from a divine source, not a human one. See the difference? It's not about getting a second shot at your old life. It's about starting a brand new kind of life.
Okay, so what does this actually mean then, to be born from above? And how does this tie all the way back to our heart transplant patient and that idea of precious grace versus cheap grace? Let's connect all the dots.
Well, Jesus actually explains it himself right after. He says this new birth is a birth of water and the Spirit. He's making it crystal clear that this has nothing to do with a physical body. The water here is about a cleansing, a washing away of the past, all those old destructive ways. And the Spirit, well, that points to the new power source for this new life. It's a life that's driven by something divine, something beyond just ourselves.
So when you put it all together, being born from above isn't some one-time emotional high or just saying a quick prayer and you're done. No, it's about a complete reorientation of your entire life. It's about that cleansing of the past and then plugging into a new divine power source to guide you day by day. It's just like our heart patient, right? He was given this incredible gift, and the expectation was that he would live a totally new, healthier life to protect that precious new heart. It's a daily commitment to living a life that honors the gift. And that brings us right back to where we started. Whether it's a physical heart transplant or a spiritual renewal, they're both these incredible unearned gifts of a new life. They aren't cheap, they came at a massive cost. And so ultimately, they leave us with one huge, fundamental question that applies to every part of our lives. When you are given a second chance, a truly precious gift, how are you going to live?